Tonight on Q2, in the fast lane.
The city and the county, we each have two legs of the intersection. So it is a little bit unique in the fact that, it's a shared jurisdiction.
With fears of death on the rise for one Billings intersection, MDT implements safety changes in near record time. Plus, a house destroyed, a woman left devastated.
I keep thinking I'm going to wake up and it's going to be a dream.
A Lockwood woman loses everything in a morning house fire, including 5 pets. And
I'm Jonathan Amberian in Helena. Another big change could be coming to the rules around Real ID at the airport. I'll have the latest on the proposed new fee that could hit non-compliant travelers.
The MTN 10 o'clock news starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday night. I'm Russ Riesinger. Long-awaited changes are finally coming to a problem intersection in the Billings Heights. They come just 2 weeks after we first reported on a string of crashes at Mary and Bitterroot Drive, where neighbors warn it's only a matter of time before someone is killed. Now, in near-record speed, road officials say they have solutions ready with new safety measures set to go in as early as this week. Andrea Lutz reports.
Brand new truck, too.
It wasn't long ago.
It could have been my child in that wreck.
This was the scene at Mary and Bitterroot in the Billings Heights.
It's heartbreaking.
Reliving the crashes outside her front door has Amanda Rule emotional.
You never know what could happen.
After 4 serious crashes in a matter of months, this troubled intersection has been on her mind. And neighbors didn't stay quiet about the danger.
There has not been another crash since, which, thank you, but you never know.
In what seems like record time, the state did a traffic study at this intersection, looking for ways to fix the problem, something the city and the county are ready to implement now.
The city and the county, we each have two legs of the intersection. So it is a little bit unique in the fact that, it's a shared jurisdiction.
Debbie Melling with Billings Public Works says one of the issues is limited visibility at night.
It's dark. It's a dark intersection.
Just 2 weeks after we first told you about the dangers here, street crews will now add larger edge-lit stop signs similar to this, stop bars and reflective strips, all aimed at getting northbound drivers to actually stop.
So the stop control will not change, but the visibility of that stop will change.
Some, like Amanda, were hoping for a 4-way stop or a roundabout.
I agree with what they're doing, but there's still going to be accidents.
However, officials say when safety measures are added where they aren't needed, it can actually make an intersection more dangerous.
So say we throw up a 4-way stop where it's not warranted. So you're on a street, it feels like a through street, it looks like a through street, and there's a stop. The possibility of blowing that stop sign is higher.
I call that a win, but there is going to be more.
Amanda sees those crashes firsthand.
You have subdivisions building, you're going to have more traffic, more high school kids driving that intersection.
She's defending the safety measures already won and pushing for even more just in case.
Be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what's going on, be aware of changes.
Going home, some of the 42 neglected dogs that were seized at a residence in Shepherd back in September will soon be returned to previous owners, while others will soon be looking for new places to live. Currently, 20 of the rescued dogs are staying on county-owned property, with 15 more living at the Montana Women's Prison. According to Sheriff Mike Lindner, changes are beginning this week. He says a few of the dogs have owners out of state, and those dogs will be returned home, while the remaining dogs will be moved to an indoor facility with access to the outdoors. If you remember, 37 of the dogs seized were Newfoundlands, and Lindner says that his team is working with the Newfoundland Club of America Rescue Organization to hopefully rehome those pets. 2 sisters tied to the case, Katie Milliken and Rebecca Collins, are each facing 14 charges of animal cruelty. It's a horrifying scene for any family. Tonight, one Lockwood woman is grieving as her home was destroyed in this fire this morning. She lost nearly everything in the fire, including 5 animals, even risking her own life trying to save them. Our Will Wagner has more on how she's coping after her life changed in an instant.
Went in, grabbed a 2-liter of pop and filled my pop cup for me, bought her a pop and bought her a pack of cigarettes. I was in and out of there faster than I've ever been in and out of that store.
Valerie Ellis says it wasn't even a 10-minute trip to the town pump in Lockwood before she came home to a devastating fire.
The whole place was, I don't know what happened. I've never seen nothing like it.
This morning we got called for the report of a structure fire at a little after 5 a.m. We got there, the house was heavily involved in flames.
Ellis says she knew her pets were inside. She tried to rescue them, causing her to be hospitalized for smoke inhalation.
Yeah. 15 breathing treatments in a row.
But in the end, Ellis lost 2 dogs, 2 cats, and another cat is at the vet. On top of losing her pets, Ellis tells us she didn't have insurance and lost everything inside.
All my furniture, my life savings, my business. I had my business out of that house, my eBay business. All my photos, everything my parents left me.
While Lockwood and other nearby departments responded quickly, they say slush and ice posed a challenge.
It was a very long private driveway, and there was a sheet of ice with fresh snow on it, so it made it very difficult for us to get our apparatus down there.
While the cause of the fire remains under investigation, Ellis says she is still processing what happened.
I keep thinking I'm going to wake up and it's going to be a dream.
In Lockwood, Will Wagner, MTN News.
The owner of the Homestead Apartments in Park City is facing a new lawsuit, one that's been years in the making. 2 weeks ago, neighborhoods went under a boil water advisory and residents were forced to evacuate the complex. The lawsuit claims the complex contaminated the local water table, and a nearby landowner says his well is now also contaminated. Owner Gary White says he's working with the Park City Water and Sewer District to resolve the issues and get tenants back home. The Real ID just became a reality this year, but the rules are already shifting. Starting next year, you can fly without one, but it will come at a cost. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian breaks down the proposed fees.
The next time you're packing up for a trip to the airport, you may want to double-check your identification. Starting on February 1st, the TSA says it's going to be charging a $45 fee if travelers don't have either a Real ID or another form of compliant identification. A Real ID requires more documentation than a standard driver's license. To get it, you need to show proof that you're a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. For years, officials have warned that people eventually won't be allowed to fly without a Real ID, passport, or other allowed alternative. After February, they say people without acceptable ID will be able to get aboard, but only if they go through an alternative identity verification that will cost money and could lead to delays. In Montana, replacing your driver's license with a Real ID costs an extra $25. Jim Ford was on his way from Helena to Houston Tuesday. He says he got a Real ID soon after it became available in Montana, even though the requirement to use Real ID was delayed time and time again.
I didn't want to have anything interfere with my travel arrangements. I knew all the other states were going towards it, so it was only a matter of time before it was going to be required.
You can recognize if your driver's license is a Real ID by a gold star in the corner. Nationwide, the TSA estimates 94% of Americans are already using a Real ID or another compliant form of identification. In Montana, the Motor Vehicle Division says just 42% of people have Real ID compliant licenses. But all the travelers I spoke with Tuesday either had Real IDs already or used passports instead, so they didn't see a need to upgrade. If you'd like to apply for a Real ID, you can schedule an appointment with Montana MVD online. You can find a link on our website. In some cases, department leaders say they'll even be able to accommodate same-day appointments. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
President Donald Trump is threatening to withhold money for SNAP benefits in most Democratic-controlled states unless they provide information about people receiving the assistance. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says the action is looming because those states are refusing to provide data requested, such as the names and immigration status of aid recipients. They say that information is needed to root out fraud in the program. Democratic states have sued to block the requirement, saying that they verify eligibility for SNAP beneficiaries and never share large amounts of sensitive program data with the federal government. And Costco is now one of the biggest companies challenging President Trump's sweeping tariffs, taking the administration to court for a refund for imported goods it paid if the Supreme Court rules it illegal. The retailer argues the president misused a 1977 law to impose tariffs on products from more than 100 countries and that only Congress has the power to set them. Trump says the tariffs have generated hundreds of billions of dollars for the government and warns refunds could hurt the economy. The White House says it's confident there'll be a quick resolution. Billings City plows are still hard at work tonight, cleaning up after the first major snowstorm of the year. The city street division admits they got a later start over the weekend as they were originally only planning for 2 to 3 inches of snow. Division manager Derek Miller says they'd been planning to use a sand and salt combo, but obviously had to adjust on the fly when nearly 8 inches of snow hit the Magic City. Miller says cleaning 1,200 lane miles around the city is no easy task, and it was made even more difficult due to Montana's ever-changing weather.
Try to react to the most people we can as quickly as possible. The weather around here is horribly hard to predict. We do the best we can.
Miller says some roads do get priority over others, as crews always try to begin on Zimmerman Trail and Skyway Drive. Heavier traffic areas like 24th Street, Grand Avenue, and King are also high on that list.
Well, the snow has certainly tapered off, but it is continuing in parts of both Wyoming and Montana. Some light snow the last several hours around Cody. We still have some more around Sheridan, Wyoming, too. Further to the north, more areas of snow around Wolf Point, Glendive, and Glasgow, all the way toward Jordan. Even Baker getting some more light snow, and continuing more light snow for Great Falls, Lewistown, and Helena. So we're not quite done, but we do have colder air moving our way, and that's going to help refreeze what was melting earlier in the day. We're going to have most of those snow showers going away by the time the sun rises tomorrow morning. We're not going to have a lot of warmth on Wednesday. I forecast more changes coming up.
Montana healthcare professionals are encouraging people to double check their vaccination records with a recent outbreak of measles in the state. The CDC recently confirmed 2 cases in Gallatin County with a suspected case in Missoula County. Those exposed visited multiple busy locations, including the Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport. So far this year, the United States has a total of 1,798 cases, with 34 of them in Montana. Usual symptoms of the measles begin with a runny nose, cough, and fever, but eventually will develop into a rash, typically about 4 days later.
You are concerned about an exposure, or you are concerned that you potentially have symptoms of measles and might have been exposed, it's really important to call your healthcare provider or call ahead to the facility that you might be going to, because they need to be able to take more specialized precautions to make sure that you don't expose anyone else.
With 1 dose of the MMR vaccine, adults are 93% protected against the virus, and with the 2nd dose, they're 97% protected. Riverstone Health offers immunization clinics, and those appointments can be scheduled online.